friends, Practically Imperfect Ohio Mom here. With take 483, I'm quite certain of just this part of the video. Whatever. So as I posted, I've been gifted a day off of work due to a power outage. So I'm trying to get caught up. Little tree has been removed, big tree going in. This tree is at least 8 or 9 years old. I've had it for a long time. I got it on clearance at the Hobby Lobby, and it's been a good tree. It's a pre-lit tree that no longer lights. I don't care. And no, I'm not one of those people who are going to unravel and take all of the lights off. I just put my lights over top and decorate it real good, and you don't even see them. So join me if you want to. It's gonna be a journey as I decorate the big tree. And this tree's staying. I don't care what my family says. Hang in. So I am fluffing the first section of the tree. Same thing that I told you with the little tree, only bigger and more branches. I take the time to try to fluff and turn one to the left, one to the right, and one in the middle. I don't know if that's a thing. It's a thing here, Gregory Hammer. So I'm going to fluff all of this. Oh, yeah, that's not been fluffed yet. I'm like, ooh, there's a big hole. Okay, I'm gonna fluff all of this, and then we'll put the lights on. Okay, so fluffing has happened. Couple of tips on the fluffing, especially of an old tree. Squeak, squeak. If your bottom branches are sagging down, if they're breaking down, you know, at the pole, and they're kind of saggy a little bit, don't be afraid to get in there and bend those suckers upward, and that will lift them. See how that lifted up? That's one tip. And again, I am no professional. I've just been doing this a long time. There, fluff that one up. Secondly, if you like your tree fluffier than what it's fluffing up to be, don't be afraid to get just the cheap garland, not too cheap, the mid-grade garland, and go in and fill in spots with just garland or those stems that they sell, picks or whatever. Get in there and shove those in some of your bare spots. Don't be afraid to do that. That's what it takes. All right, so bottom is fluffed. I'm gonna start with the lights. And yes, I did. Okay, if you missed my Facebook Live, I put up a little tree. I was trying to downsize with a pencil tree, 6 foot. I think it was supposed to be 6 foot. I put it up. It wasn't even as tall as me. I put it up, strung all the lights, fluffed, did an hour-long video about it on Facebook Live. I did a Facebook Live about it. And the family vetoed it. They're like, no, we need a big tree, not the little tree. What are you trying to do to us? So I took all of the red and green lights off of that, and I'm going to put them on this one, and I'm starting all over again. But that's okay, because I've been gifted this beautiful day off, so I can do that. My theme this year is going to be red and green throughout my living room. That's our main space, and I like the traditional Christmas colors this year. So stay tuned. I'm going to throw some lights on this sucker, and yeah, it's on. Game on. And just like magic, she is lit. So if you caught my video about the little tree, you know that I was doing red and green lights. So when I decided that I had to do the big tree, I went back for green lights, and they are nowhere to be found. Must be a popular situation this year. So I bought more red lights, and I'm going to save the 2 strands of green lights and kind of spread them out. So I'm going to do a massive amount of red lights and then spread out the green lights. Here is section number 2 of the big tree, and it's already taller than me and much taller than the little tree that I was trying to get away with putting up, and my family vetoed. It's okay. I kind of vetoed it myself too. I was trying to make it okay. You know how you talk yourself into, it's okay, it'll be all right. You'll like it once you get everything decorated. I don't think it would have happened. I don't think I would have ever gotten on board with that little tree. So, section number 2. Look, look, it's a bonus. I'll talk about these little people later. So, all right. Section number 2, going up. All right, so we have the second part of the tree, the second third, all fluffed up. There are holes. Look, here's a hole. But I will show you as we go along what I do with the holes. I'm just going to keep manipulating the branches, and when I add my decor, you'll see that we're able to fill those holes pretty easily. So now I'm going to continue to string my red lights up. All right, there she is, all lit up. Gonna have to hide that plug a little bit better there. All the red lights, and you know how you get to the top and you're like, getting a little thin on the lights, and you have to really start spreading them out and being methodical about it. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Still have one more portion of the tree. It's the very top of the tree. We will fluff it, and then we will stretch these red lights up and make sure that they cover the whole thing. Yeah, so progress is being made. Okay, so here's the top. I had to adjust my new stand, and wait till you see the picture of this little stand that Glenn put together. Here's the top of the tree. I think this tree is 7.5 feet, which is 1.5 feet taller than the little tree I was trying to get away with, which wasn't quite 6 feet. I was taller than that tree, and it was taller than me, and I'm not 6 feet. So, the top of this tree isn't on those peggy things on the pole. It's on just sturdy wire that you kind of have to really work with and fluff. So this is going to take me a hot minute. I'm going to put you on pause, and we'll be right back. And just to add to the holiday spirit, that is what's happening outside my house right now. Love it if you will, hate it if you must. It is what it is. Eternal winter is upon us here in Northeast Ohio. Okay, so top is fluffed, lights are on, and I made it with the red lights. I had to go a little sparse here, but that's okay because I have green lights to go on here as well. So we are done with the red, we are done with the fluffing. Now let's put some green lights on this thing. Here's what it looks like with just the red lights. Ooh, whoa, wrong way. There she is with just the red lights. All right, there she is. All the red lights, all the green lights. The tippy top, I have something special for there. But all the red and green lights, there are 2, 3, 4, 5, 680 lights roughly on this tree. It's a 7.5 foot skinnier tree. It's not a pencil tree and it's not a fat tree, but there's about, that many lights on there. And we keep going. Okay, now that the tree is all fluffed and lit, I'm going with a new approach this year with some ribbon. We'll see how that looks. I'm trying again for a real traditional red and green theme here. So I bought some ribbon, and I am by no means any kind of bow maker. No. But I bought some ribbon, and I want to put ribbon, like in years past, I've tried ribbon, and I've tried to run it from the top of the tree all the way down to the bottom of the tree. And I've liked it, and then I've hated it. So I have a love-hate with the ribbon on the tree situation. This year, I don't want to run the ribbon all the way down the tree. I want to just run it from the top. I'm going to try my hand at a very large bow at the top, and then give it some longer tails, but not necessarily that come all the way down the tree. because I have some garland I want to use and some bulbs and some other things that I want to put in it. So I'm going to use the Handy Dandy Easy Bow Maker. Again, not a professional, so if I can get a grasp on this, then anybody can get a grasp on this. I'm going to use that, and I bought a variety of ribbon, wired ribbon. I always use wired ribbon, try to. And it's wired, but it's a very thin wire, so I hope that it does what I need it to do. We shall see. So I'm going to start with the bow at the top, and then whatever ribbon I have left over is what will be the tails that come down. So, I don't know, I'm winging it. I'm winging it like I always wing it. You guys know that I wing it. Here we go. I don't know if I can use it like this. Wait, you're supposed to put the ribbon on this little dowel rod. I don't know if I can do that or not. I'll try. So this one is a 2.5 inch ribbon, and it's a traditional red and green Christmas plaid. I'm going to start with that as the base, so that will be the back of the bow that goes on the top of the tree. And then I have greenery and things that I'm going to do as well. But it's going to start with this, hopefully, very large bow. So I'm just going to start the loops at, I don't know, 5.5-ish. I feel like if I do any wider than that, this thin, I'm actually going to go back to 5. This thinner wire that's in this ribbon may not hold it and hold its shape. So we're going to go with 5. And then I'm just going to loop the crap out of it and hope for the best. Yep. That's what we do here. We wing it. So this is pretty ribbon. I love the print. I'm just not confident about the stiffness of it and how well it's going to hold its shape. So I am just going to loop it. Typically I'll loop 4. I'll do 2 on each side. I'm going to go for more than that. We'll see. Because I do want it to be rather full. When it's at the top of this very tall tree, you still want to be able to see it. So let's see what 3 looks like, and then we'll go from there. It's very quiet here. I don't like the quiet. I typically have music going. If you saw my post from earlier today on my Facebook page, you'll, and if you're not on my Facebook page, go to my Facebook page, because I always try to post there before I release a video to let you know what I'm going to be talking about, because who knows what I run my flapper about. It's a little bit of everything. So on my Facebook page earlier today, I released a picture of my record player and what I had playing on there. Typically people will decorate Christmas to Christmas music, but not me, not this girl. I like this little Columbus, not so little anymore, little Columbus band called 21 Pilots, and I had them on my record player, and they were going for a good chunk of the morning. And then I did have some Christmas music on, but you know how YouTube is. You can't have the music, so I always pause it when I'm getting ready to do some video. All right, just see what you think. So that's what it looks like with 3 loops. I think I like it with 3. I think it's very symmetrical, and I think that's, I mean, what the heck? Let's do 4 and see what happens. Oh no. Whoops. Ignore all of this that's in the background back here, because it's just kind of all out of the box. I was trying to root through and see what I already had. So it's just chilling back there. Nothing is in place and it's a mess. And that's my new vacuum cleaner that I'm super excited about. So far, it's been a good choice. It's a Shark something something pet something. If you want to know the real name of it, I'll try to add it in later. But I like it so far, and I was using that to sweep up the pine needles as I was working, because I don't like that being drug all through my house. Like, nobody needs that in their lives. All right. I don't know. I like 4. And it's just going to make more stability for the back of this bow. So I don't see a problem with that. So 4 loops it is. I think if I go any more than that, it's going to get out of control. So let me go ahead and cut that. And I'll go back later and add like dovetails to the ends once I'm all done. All right, so there's that. Isn't it a pretty ribbon? It's really pretty, and it is holding its shape better than I thought it would, being how soft that wire is. I've never had one like that before. All right, so now the next pattern I have, and it's odd for me to combine these patterns like this, but I think it's gonna work out. I hope it works out. The next pattern I have is this, a little bit of green with the gold wired edge, and it's a funky pattern, but I don't know. In my head, it looked like it would be all right. It's gonna add a nice contrast, so I don't know. Let's just give it a shot. It is also 2.5 inches, so I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do 2 loops on this one. It's much thicker, so it's gonna hold its shape very nicely. So funny because it's the same exact brand as the other one. I don't know. I'm gonna come to maybe 4. That way you can see the plaid. I want to be able to see the plaid, but I also want this to be substantial. So I may come out to like 4.5, closer to 5 for each loop. What I like about this bow maker thingamajig is that it holds it so nicely in place. I've tried to make it by hand, like holding it and looping, and first of all, I have tiny fingers and that just doesn't work well for me. Secondly, it was just a pain. This one holds it. If you can see the dowel rods, you loop in between these dowel rods here, and if you have a large bow, which I probably should have used the bigger ones, you can loop in between these ones. But it just holds it really nicely so that you can continue working and fluffing and kind of looking to see what you need. So there's 2 loops, or yeah, just 2. I'm gonna shoot for 4 and see what it looks like. Since it is such a nice stiff fabric, I should be able to twist it and turn it where I need it to be so that the plaid's still visible behind it. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna stick with the 4 loops on this one. And I do like the contrast in the patterns. I know it's weird. I don't know, I'm super matchy, and it's weird to have such contrasting patterns, but I think it actually looks pretty nice. And again, when you're talking about on the top of a 7.5 foot Christmas tree, you really want to be able to see it. So there's the plaid behind it, and then I don't even know what you call this pattern. It's some sort of diamond pattern, and it's only in green. So now I'm going to come back with, I don't know, I have 2 more different ribbons here. I have a red that's really pretty and very traditional with the braiding along the edges. It's also wired. And then I have like a neutral. It's a little darker than a burlap, and it has a little bit of a sheen to the outside of it. I don't know if you can see that. I think I'm going to come in with the neutral and then make the red my last one. So let's try it again. We're winging it here. Yeah, I should have used the bigger poles. Oh well, you live and you learn. So this one is, I think, yeah, this one's just 1.5 inches, so it's going to be 1 inch thinner than the others. And I am going to start coming in with it. I'll probably put this one about 3.5. I don't know. I'm not really measuring at this point. I'm just kind of eyeballing it, and whatever happens, happens. And I'm going to go 4 loops with this as well. Again, I want a nice, big, substantial bow for the top of this tree. If it'll all fit in my peg that I should have used the other peg, but that's okay. All right. I don't know, I'm happy with that decision. I like the neutral there. It'll give a neutral edge before I put the red on, so I'm glad I made that decision and went with that. I mean, the worst that happened was I lifted the red off and set it aside until now, so. But it worked out. I like the neutral there. All right. Let me grab the red. Okay, so now this is also 1.5 inches. That red with that pretty braiding along the edges. Break up some of the green. And just give it, again, a really pretty traditional Christmas look. And this wire is probably the thinnest of all of the ones that I bought. So I'm glad that it's on the back of, or on the front, and that the back ones are a little more stiff and they'll hold their shape better, because my hopes are not high for this one. The wire is just so thin. All right. Again, I'll probably make it the same loop length as the tan. And yeah, I think so. Yeah, it just is not holding its shape the way I want it to. So I may just keep it at a 1 looper and just let it kind of pop off the rest of them. I think I'll be happy with that. So we're just going to keep it at 1 loop, the same length as the tan one. Okay, so that means I have plenty of ribbon to do what I want on the tree itself. Coming down, like the tails. Alright, I am not going to do this part on camera. I'm going to put you on pause because this is where it gets messy. You have to lift it up off here and have your little twisty tie, and it kind of gets ugly. You don't want to see all this. So I'm going to hide you for just a minute. Alright, this is the part of the video that if you are a professional bow specialist maker, you're going to want to turn your camera off now, or fast forward, or slide a little bar at the bottom of the phone, because mistakes were made, nobody was hurt, cuss words were said. That's why I cut that part out. That's why I paused you like whoop. But the bow is here. It's not perfect. I told you it wouldn't be. I am by no means very good at this, but here it is. That's the bow. And I know the centerpiece is too big, blah blah blah. I told you the integrity of this ribbon is not very good, but from a distance, I mean, look, it's gonna be nice from a distance, and I will dovetail all this. I want to add some sprigs of greenery. God help me, because Lord knows I'm not good with the greenery either, but that's okay. We're gonna try. So here is the bow without the greenery, and now I am going to hot glue some sprigs of greenery in there, see if I can help out this situation at all. Again, bow makers, don't judge us regular folk. We're trying here. We're trying. All right. All right, hot gluing is happening. Sprigs are going in, for better or for worse. Just so you know, I am using one of these little sprigs from Joann Fabric. It's just little greenery sprigs, and they pop right off. So if you need to pluck them out, you can use them as one whole, or if you need to pluck off each individual little stem, plucks right off. I think this one was like $2.99, and then they're 50% off maybe. So that, and then I'm using my fancy hot glue gun. Again, not a professional at any of those. But my husband did buy me, like last Christmas, the best glue gun ever. It is a, look at all the glue on there. It is a cordless, battery-operated Ryobi, and it's probably one of the best Christmas gifts I've ever gotten. I use it here. I mainly use it, well, I use it for crafts, but I mainly use it in my classroom. Oh my God, teachers, amazing. If you don't know the blue tape hot glue thing for cinder block walls, that whole tip and trick thing, you need to look that up. Blue tape on whatever you're hanging on the wall, and then you simply hot glue it. It peels off like a charm. It's the best gift I've ever gotten because, you know, climbing up and down the ladders, hanging things up high at school, you can't take a cord with you all the time. And they kind of frown upon you using like extension cords. So, cordless glue gun, best thing ever. All right, back to the bow. So here's that's just 3 little sprigs. I may just keep it at that. I think I'm happy with that. What do you think? You think it needs more? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. I'm trying to read your minds. Huh? What do you think? Because what I've done is I've bought, instead of like a big tree topper, well, I have a little tiny star, and then I've bought stems to put behind this that will pop out like that, if that makes sense. Like that. Okay, we'll keep it here. If we need to come back and add some, we can do that. So I think the next step is probably, I've never done it like this before. I think I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to put my sprigs in. I'm going to put my star on, which I don't know if I can do that. It's tradition to have Presley put the star on the top of the tree. It just is. Can I do that? I don't know. Maybe I'll put it on so I have placement, and then I'll take it off and let her do it. Does that count? It counts, right? Nobody will know. No one will know. All right. So don't tell Presley. I put the star on. But I only put the star on for placement. I will take it down when I'm done placing. So I have a couple twigs that I bought for the top to kind of accentuate the star, and some handy dandy cable ties. You can get these at the Dollar Tree. Harbor Freight is a great place to get them. You can get a big old pack, last your lifetime, for like $10. All right, so these beauties are the little ornamental twig things, and you can see they've got some pine, they've got some lamb's ear, they've got a magnolia leaf on the back that I'll spread out, and then they've got 2 pretty red bulbs. So that's what I bought, and my thought is, if you can see, I want to somehow put them in. I've got 3 of them, so I'm going to put them in the tree somewhere up here to accentuate the star. I don't know. I got to get up there and figure it out. So stay with me. Well, you have no choice unless you slide through the video. And for whatever backside you're about to see, I apologize. I tried to aim you way high. I don't know though. I'm going up a step. Here I go. Okay, that's not too bad. Well, now you can't see the tree at all. Let me back up. Hold on. Okay. Oh, that's better. All right, here we go. Again, totally winging it. I've never done this before. These are brand new. I got them from the At Home store. And like I said, I have 3 of them, so one has to go behind the star. And I know you don't see it from the front, but you're going to see it from the sides. So one has to happen back there from behind the star. And I'm going to go in and I'm just going to zip tie the sucker on. And then we will fluff the leaves and all of that. Totally winging it. You're witness to my winging it. Are my cable ties big enough? Oh, okay, there it goes. I may not ever be able to get it off again. Let me facing the right way. The bulbs are kind of in the way. There. Oh, that's better. Okay. Zip tie. Oop. It's not making the clicky sound. Why is it making the clicky sound? Oh, because it's not clicking. Oh, must be backwards. All right, we'll try that again. Can you hear all that talking to myself that I'm doing? I had the zip tie backward, so I have to try it again here. Oh, there, it's making the clicky noise. All right, that guy is on. And like I said, I'll come back and fluff him and stuff. And you can't really see it from that angle, but again, from the sides of the tree, you're gonna see that behind the star. All right, next one. You know the little part of your ladder where you put like screwdrivers and stuff? I have these stuck down in there. Work smarter, not harder. All right, this one I'm gonna tilt this way. I wish I need to move it up a little. Nope, still not right. That bulb is really throwing it. You see? It's really throwing it off. What can I do here? There. Okay. Nope. Well, I think the bulb has to come off this back one. It's in the way of getting the other one to be, see how I want it? That's how I want it. All around the star like that. But this bulb is kind of preventing it from doing that. So let me put you on pause and I'm gonna go grab some wire cutters. Try not to fall off the stool. Okay friends, had to move the stool. Had to do a little magnolia repair. Let's see if we can get this last one installed. The magnolia leaf fell off of this one, so I had to put it back on. So what I did is I fluffed. This one's like awkward. All right, so I fluffed it out before I put it on. That second one, it was giving me such a hassle. So I'm gonna fluff it first. This one is like, I don't know, it's like twisted. Okay, well, you just work with what you got, that's all. Kind of untwist it a little. There, oh, there it goes, okay. That's better. And this sprig down here, this one here. And keeping in mind that it's going to go in this way, maybe? Goodness, it's like really twisted. I want the two magnolia leaves facing down. I think I can be over there. And then magnolia leaf there. This there. Okay. All right, I think we're good. And I'm putting the stick down in. I'm just fussing with it and trying to find a space. Whatever happens, if it's ugly, I can always hide it. All right, so what do you think? I think that looks pretty symmetrical. And then our star will be in the middle, and then our bow will be here. Does that make sense? That's the vision anyway. So let me see if I can put this cable tie on properly and get this thing secured into place. Sure. Whoops, there it is. All right, hopefully I have the cable tie on the right direction. Is it clicking? Yep, it's clicking. You know the little clicky sound that a cable tie makes? Let you know that it's clicking and in place and holding. Okay, there. All right, so now our bow, and then I come back and I'll fluff the whole thing and I'll take the star down so Presley doesn't know. Nobody tell him. All right, gotta get my bow. You know what? I'm gonna cut the dovetails in this bow before I get back up there. All right, let's get up there. See about this bow. There, I think if I put it there, it'll hide the little wiry part of the star. And these Christmas bulbs will be on either side. I think that looks good. Maybe. All right, so I'm gonna tie this on. Oh, and it hides the spot where the cable ties are, which is good. I knew I'd be able to hide that somehow, whether it be with, you know, garland or decorations or whatever, ribbon. All right, so there's the ribbon, the bow, I should say. And then the tails are all right here. Okay, so I'm gonna pop the star off. Maybe, okay. And Presley will be able to put that on. Shh, it's all our secret. Okay, there she is. Let me zoom in. Or not. Hold on. All right, there it is. So the star goes in the top of that there. There's my 3 sprigs I put on there. And I think those were $6.99 a piece at the at-home store. That's where I got those 3 branches. They're pretty substantial. I didn't think that was a bad price at all. And then there's my bow. And then, of course, the star, when Presley gets home, she'll put on the top there in the middle. So let me back out again. You can kind of see. All right, so that part is done. Now, I think I have a beaded garland. It's red and green beaded garland. I think I'll do that next, since it goes horizontally around the tree like that. And then I'll come back with the ribbon tails and run them later, probably toward the end, toward the last. I don't know, I'm winging it. You guys see what I'm doing here? I'm winging it. So let's go ahead and put some beaded garland on this beast first. Okay, so I have some traditional red and green beaded garland from the at-home store. Did I say wooden beaded garland? These are only $6.99 for 12 feet. It's such a nice way to add some simple garland to your tree. I think I've said it before when I was putting up the little tree, I'm not a tinsel girl. I don't like anything modern. I'm not shiny. I just don't like tinsel garland. Not for my main tree. I do it. I said do. I do it on my Disney tree. Yeah, I have one of those. Judge me. Just judge me. I do have that, and I do put tinsel garland on there, but I don't particularly like it on my main living room tree. So I have always used some sort of beaded garland. And guys, I rotate. I don't want you to think I have run out and bought all of this stuff just for you. This is stuff that I have pretty much in a rotation. I get very bored very easily. So I have done a blue and silver Christmas tree. I have done a bronze and woodsy Christmas tree. I have done a white snowy Christmas tree and the normal red and green Christmas tree. And I have them all labeled in containers in storage, and whatever I'm feeling that year, I rotate it out. I do the same in my classroom. It just makes sense. And then instead of buying like a huge batch of changing my theme every couple of years, I look at it and I'm like, oh, I can just add maybe a little here and there, zhuzh, little zhuzh here, little zhuzh there. But the main things that I have, they're in storage. That's terrible. They're in storage and I just rotate. And again, I do the same in my classroom. I get tired of classroom decor, and if you haven't seen my classroom decor video from this year, you should take a look at it. Right now I'm in a navy blue kick in my classroom, and so when I get tired of that, I'll take it down, I'll put it in a box or in a container, I'll label it, and then I'll store it until I'm in that mood again, instead of having to buy something all the time. I mean, obviously I bought that stuff, but it's just different because there's some of this stuff that I've had since I've been married. I've been married for 20 plus years. That's just how I operate. And do I have a lot of storage? No, I told you, I live in a very modest house with a 1-car garage. We do have a shed, but my husband is extremely handy. He started his whole life career as a bagger. So he has all of that down pat, where he puts it all in the smallest box necessary, and yeah. I attribute that to his mad bagging skills back in our grocery store days. That's how we met, at a grocery store. So anyway, I don't have a lot of storage, so I contain it as best as I can, and I label it. Guys, label everything. You gotta label it or you won't get back to it. So, all right, enough of that. Let's put some garland on this tree. I'm gonna start at the top and work my way down. I probably won't go all the way to the tippy top since we now have all this elaborate stuff here. Oh, and again, I apologize for anything that you're about to see as I climb up on the stool. Ooh, yep. Let's not look. When I put garland on, I try to tuck it and drape. So notice I'm swooping here and going back up here, and then I tuck. So especially with the beaded garland, it just seems to look better if you swoop and tuck. I don't like when it's like very rigid circles around the tree. So droop and tuck. I have a comment about that, but I'll keep it to myself. That's pretty much life, ladies, after your 40s. Droop and tuck. I didn't keep it to myself very well, did I? Oh well. You'll forgive me, I'm sure. Okay. See, and I try to alternate. Where I'm tucking on the top, I'm going to droop on underneath. Does that make sense? So that they're not all uniform either, because that kind of looks weird. Like it there. You got to play with it. You just got to play with it. And you got to move your branches, and it's all about the fluff. Oh no. Droop and tuck. All right, there we go. Whoa. Try not to hit yourself on the nose. And then when you get to an end, just kind of tuck it in really good so it doesn't fall out. Can you see that? All right, I'll take you in closer once I get all of it on. All right, pause, magic of the camera. All right, so I went through 4 of the beaded garland, as you can see here in the tree, and I drooped and tucked all throughout the tree. Now, what I will admit is maybe it should have been a lighter neutral bead rather than the red and green beads. With the red and green lights, maybe I went a little overboard. with the red and green. But they're subtle, and that's what I meant to do with being subtle. If they were a more neutral tone, they might stand out a little more, and I like blended, so I'm okay with this look. You may not be. But they are on. See? So the beaded garland is on. Next, let's do some ribbon tails coming down from the bow, just down a little bit, not all the way down to the bottom, but hanging around the bow. Let's do that next. Okay, so I'm gonna make some tails for of ribbon for the tree, and I think I'm gonna try this. I don't know, you'll see, it might fail, who knows. I'm gonna take the lighter ribbon that I used in the bow with the diamond pattern on it, and since it's a stiffer fabric ribbon, I'm going to roll it around 2 fingers like this. I don't know, again, this might be a fail, I don't know. I'm going to leave just a little bit to hook to, to tie into a branch. And then I'm going to try to make a spiral. Does that make sense? So let me pull my fingers out. It's like the Chinese yo-yo. Fingers are stuck. Okay, so see what I did? Made a roll around my fingers. I'm going to tie this part around the branch of the tree, and then I'm going to try to pull this out like a spiral once I have it attached to up here. Let me move that. Ooh, that was unprofessional. Sorry. I'm still trying to get the hang of this. Okay, so I'm going to come over here, and I'm just going to tuck and hide this out of the way. I used to tie it to the branch. I don't like to do that. I don't have to, because it's a pain to get off then at the end of the season. So I just find an inconspicuous branch and kind of wrap it around it. All right, here we go. Here's the moment of truth. Let's see if this thing spirals like I thought it might. Alright. I don't know how I feel about that just yet. This ribbon is a little thick. I'm alright with that. I'm alright with it. I think if I tuck it into some places, yeah, I think I'll be alright with that. I'll give you a close-up here in just a second. So, just a little spiral. And again, use your branches to help you hold it where you want it to be. There we go. And that brings a little more lightness. Yeah, I'm digging that. All right, let's do the same with another. Got my roll of ribbon. I'm just going to pull some off of it. I'm going to make this one a little bit longer for the other side. I am an uber symmetrical person, almost to a fault. Ask any of my friends. Yeah, very, very, very symmetrical. I have a little bit of OCD. Did you get that yet? Did you get that from me? A little bit of OCD, and just on certain things. Like, I don't have to wash my hands 3 or 4 times all the time. Like, nothing like that, but weird things. Ooh, there's Presley's bus. Don't tell her I put the star on. She'll never know. Weird things. Like, I have parking spots at places I frequent. Like the outlet mall. I have a certain parking spot that I park in. School, yeah, parking spot. The mall, parking spot. So that's a little quirk of mine. That's OCD. But one of my OCD things is being uber symmetrical. I buy like when I'm crafting, I buy things in 2s or 4s. All right, here's that. Here's that roll, and I'm gonna do the same thing, pull it out, and hopefully it spirals the same way. And Presley's home, so I'm gonna pause you for just a second. All right, so Presley came in, and I wish I would have left the video rolling because she came in and she said, "Oh, you should have seen her face. It was so cute." She's like, "Oh, that looks so pretty. It's amazing." So that made my heart happy because after all, this isn't for you folk. Just saying. It's for my family. I want my family to be happy at the holidays. So I have added 2 more ribbon tails, and you see one's really long. I might cut that off. Oh, there, right there. I don't know. And then I have one in the middle and one on the side because I started to tell you guys I'm very symmetrical. So now I'm going to fill in with, I think, the brown. I'm not going to do red because there's a lot of red lights and I think the tree needs lightened up a little. So I'm going to fill in with the bronzy color from the bow, the natural burlappy bronzy color. And I don't think I'm going to swirl it. I think I'll tuck. So I'm going to tie it at the top, like loop it and tuck and loop and tuck, and we'll see what that looks like. So stay with me. I would let this video roll, but I know you guys are not interested in watching all of the process. So, and I'm not fancy with the editing software yet. I'm working on it. I've learned a lot, but I'm not fancy with it yet, so I don't know how to splice and dice and tuck it back together. So I'm just going to pause it, and then we'll come back and I'll have the bronze burlappy ribbon on. Okay, so ribbon is installed, and I went longer and shorter depending, I just kind of winged it around the tree, but it starts at the bow up here, which I think turned out okay. Glenn come around the corner, he said, "The top of your tree looks like a field goal." See, people, that is what I'm dealing with. Anyway, the star, as I said, Presley will put right in the middle of there, so that'll look a little bit different next time you see it. And I wrapped this light ribbon and spiraled it, so that is coming down the tree. Then the bronzy burlappy colored ribbon, I just swooped and tucked and swooped and tucked down the tree. And I put the lighter colors on the front, and you see they're not all the same size. The spiral here stops here. This one comes all the way down to there. They're all kind of scattered. And then let me go around the side. Another bronzy piece, because I was trying to lighten up some of the red and green a little bit. And then I did add the red ribbon from the bow as the last piece on the back there. So you guys have literally been with me for the whole day, like my whole shift. Next step will be ornaments on the tree, and I'm going to take a pause and I'll get back to you with the ornaments for the tree. I actually got to get them down out of storage yet, so I'm going to do that. I'm thinking about starting the mantle next, so stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy this. I hope it helps. I hope it inspires you. I hope it brings you some joy. Thanks for watching.